kind of hard to believe that we're having this conversation.
It is astounding, Michelle. No one would imagine a president of the United States doing this in any other era. So
the White House is saying that the president is not trying to secure deals for himself, but for the American people. Do you believe that?
Well, here's what we know. The individual you mentioned who is under investigation by SEC, in fact, under enforcement action, first cut a deal with World Liberty Financial for $75 million. $56 million of that went directly to Donald J. Trump. Weeks later, the SEC enforcement action was halted. Now he's the top donor to this dinner, and of course he gets access to the president's ear. We can see the pattern. It's very clear. And this president is coin-operated.
So the first Trump term wasn't exactly free of grift, but this seems to be on a completely different level. Help us understand how this rubs up against typical ethical standards.
Well, it's clearly corruption on steroids. And because the nature of cryptocurrency and concealing the identity of who exactly is engaged in the transaction really facilitates this kind of corruption. The president has set up a scheme that enables him to maximize the amount of money going to himself and his family. I should say what is also very relevant is the number of foreign individuals and actors who are guests. We know of the top 25 contributors for this particular meme coin. 19 of them purchased those meme coins on foreign exchanges that are barred to U.S. citizens. So there's an enormous amount of foreign influence here.
And this would, the emoluments clause seems that this would prohibit this kind of thing. It's clearly spelled out.
One would think. Of course, it doesn't enforce itself. We need an attorney general willing to enforce it. And part of the idea behind some of this legislation, for example, what I introduced in late February was, let's just create a very clear line. Forget about whether or not there's fraud or actual corruption. Federal officials shouldn't be getting into this business, period. And that should be enforceable by itself.
Now, many people have expressed outrage over the gift from the Qatari government, including some Republicans who weren't comfortable with that. What are you hearing from the other side of the aisle about this? There's relative silence that we're hearing in public, but do you hear in the halls of Congress where you do hear things that the public does not hear? Is there some discomfort about this that they're just not willing to say out loud?
Oh, absolutely. I hear the discomfort. When I'm at the gym or in the elevator talking to a member quietly, the challenge is getting them on a bill that will actually prohibit it and make this worthy of criminal indictment. We know, of course, it's criminal conduct, and any other attorney general would prosecute this. Unfortunately, we have a Department of Justice that's wholly controlled, a subsidiary of Trump Incorporated.
So what can you do in a case like this? I mean, what are the levers of power that you can exact to make sure that this kind of thing does not happen again? And what kind of message does this send? I mean, we noted that it seems like there's a sign that says, the White House is up for sale. Does it indeed send a message to foreign governors, foreign governments, foreign businessmen, that all you have to do is put money in his pocket and you will get access? And what does that access mean?
Yeah, those are all really important questions. It absolutely does say this White House is for sale. We know that people are not interested in just having dinner with Donald Trump because he's an interesting guy. They are interested in getting access to somebody who has this public office, the most powerful public office in the world. And $148 million has been spent for this dinner precisely for that access. And it's not just the specter of foreign influence. Obviously, there's plenty of domestic influence that is perfectly harmful as well. And so we simply have to prohibit federal officials from doing this. That's why I'm pushing for this legislation. I'm grateful that Senator Chris Murphy, introduced companion legislation on the Senate side. And we have to really make sure we have a moment, whether it's when Trump's ratings go down and we get enough Republicans to get a spine to be able to jump on this kind of legislation, or ultimately in 2026 when we can retake Congress.
You make a very important point also that it's hard to backtrack on this because of the hidden nature of these transactions. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Michelle.